She came first? Okay.
First of all, you mentioned earlier that you are setting your hopes on Europe, and I would say maybe you might want to prepare yourself for some disappointments, but this is only a personal remark. I have a follow-up question from the earlier speaker. You mentioned that we should be more objective when it comes to China, and and see also their achievements. But my question would be, if the Chinese population sees those achievements and appreciates them, why do they still need censorship then? They shouldn't need it if all the the whole of the population sees those achievements. That's a contradiction to me. And second of all, could you elaborate on Taiwan? Why do you think China would accept the status quo? Why do you think China would say, well, this is fine, we can live with it as long as everybody plays along? Or don't you think that China at some point will just say, we want Taiwan back and we want it our way and we just don't accept it like it is at the moment? Thanks.
Okay. The thing about your question on censorship is that it tries to sort of say, more or less, excuse me, that in the West we have no censorship, that's white. China, which has censorship, is black, okay? And I would say that in most societies are shades of gray. You have no formal censorship in Western societies. Believe me, you have informal censorship, right? And in the United States today, by the way, it goes down to political correctness. And even in the greatest universities, right, in the US today, and I'm told by graduates of these great universities, I just was there, that the political culture is pushing towards political correctness, and there's no formal censorship, but there's so many things you just cannot say anymore. And if you want an example of this, read the Financial Times this weekend. Lunch with FTs with a Yale professor, Amy Chua. She spoke freely. See what happened to her. That's also censorship, okay? So there are different kinds of censorship. There are the blatant kind of censorship you can see, and the not so blatant kind. So the only point I want to tell you about Chinese society is this, which is, I think this is the one reality that almost nobody can understand, which is that most of the Chinese people have never been happier. It's amazing. You have to live there to see it. And in my book, I cite one of America's greatest strategic thinkers, George Kennan. And he says at the end of the day, the outcome of the contest between the United States and Soviet Union, the old Cold War, would depend on which society enjoys greater spiritual vitality. Where are the people happier, especially the bottom 50%? And today, this is a reality that you just find it difficult to accept, but it is real. The bottom 50% in America are about to vote Trump back in 2024. Trump is coming back, right? The danger of Trump coming back is so real, and I can tell you that shows you what a difficult, divided, dysfunctional society United States has become, that they can vote Trump back. That's unhappiness surfacing. In China, by contrast, the people till today are still amazed at how much their lives have improved and are happy with the situation that they have down there. Which is why, to be honest, with apologies to you, I reacted very strongly to the word repression, because the Chinese people actually understand and appreciate how much they have advanced. And the Chinese actually now, the people actually, and this is something that I met someone who was here a few days ago, who speaks Chinese fluently, has been there recently. And he said in China there used to be a natural awe and respect for the West, which was good. But that awe and respect for the West is diminishing as they see what is happening in Western societies, especially United States, and they see what's happening in China. So I want you all to understand that don't use black and white categories to understand China and the West. Understand the strengths of the West, the weaknesses of the West, understand the strengths of China, weaknesses of China, and then make a comparison. Don't do black and white comparisons. And on Taiwan, basically, just my simple answer is, if you don't shake the status quo, we can keep peace. No, but the Chinese are not going to go out and launch a military war. Because again, I discussed this in my book. The Chinese believe that the best way to win a war is without fighting. If you have to fight, it means you're not a good general.